I'm happy because of this discussion, and I hope we are going to get a consensus as a people, and we will be able to salvage our country. You know, from 1963, we have just been, at times, we get presidents, we get leaders, and at times we are not satisfied with them. But we have never reached a time where people felt that their voices have not been respected. We know in different countries, in different places, elections are stolen. We don't deny that fact. But even if elections are stolen, the elections which they are too obvious to steal. And for me, 2022 was the most obvious election which you needed not to steal. Everything was for Raila Odinga. But somebody decided to subvert the will of the people. Either he was paid or it was a maniac act. But what I know is that the will of the people was subverted. Number two, you know, the reason why we have governments is so that they can be able to actualize what they said. Uh, I have taken time to read the Kenya Kwanza manifesto. Even when you go to many government meetings, people are saying that you need to look into Kenya Kwanza manifesto before you implement anything. But Kenya Kwanza manifesto is not implementable because it was something which was not based on the reality. and, and it is so unfortunate that Kenyan economists were not able to analyze that manifesto. So even when you want to embed the Kenya Kwanza manifesto to the government operations, it's not working. It's not working. You want cheap labor, you want some things to be like penniless, but life doesn't work that way. So I'm saying that this was a quickened government. It was a government for somebody with no structure. Somebody decided, people vote manifestos and ideas. Governments are never just put it. And that is why, by the way, Kenya is going to stagnate. Because Kenya Kwanza was a government whose manifesto and methodology did not reflect the reality. Rather, people worked very hard to get the government without a workable idea. That's why we are going to stagnate as long as these people are they're in power. It comes without saying anything because they had no idea. The only thing they worked on was to get power. The issue of connecting their methodology with the economy, their thinking, that is why even the people who they brought to power, the CS's what, they are just quacks, money, people, thugs, people who have no morality authority to do anything. Let me tell you, some of the people in Kenya who are CS's current, in some other countries, they could be in jail. That is what we are dealing with. We are dealing with the people who their only thing they were doing was to get into power. The methodology to them was not important. Everything was not important to them. It was only to get into power. For Azimio, as Azimio was strategizing to connect the idea to do so many other things, somebody was busy working on a method, backroom method of how to get to power. And miraculously, they succeeded. So it's a very big loss to any sane Kenyan, any right-thinking Kenyan. You lost a lot. And this is not an idea whereby we say, ati miaka tano tutarudia. I can tell you the undoings, because let me tell you, these people want to put a system which will make sure that quacks are the only people who will be reading in Kenya. And I can tell you, if this presidency of Mr. Ruto is going to see the light of the day for the next 5 years, you will be seeing people with any form of character getting close to power. We have opened, or somebody has, let me not say Kenyans, because Kenyans are innocent. Somebody decided to open a very bad door for us. You will be seeing any form of people, even drug lords, will start becoming presidents if this presidency continues. Because in life, bad character should not be rewarded. In life, we want people to anguish. We want people to fight for the best, and we get the best product and the best things possible. But when you see criminals are the ones who are getting power and the rest, uh, you now start having a country which is looking like Mexico or Colombia or those countries which you hear that there are gunshots of cartels every time and every day. That's where we are ending. So look at what is happening. Even if they are saying that the life is coming down, I don't know how, but I'm now hearing Kenya Power tokens will go high. Uh, food is going high. Even that food is not there. They now want to use the the other methods of the crook methods of stabilizing the amount of food in the country. So there are so many things. People are not being consulted. So it's simple. Who can audit IBC? First of all, because let me tell you, the greatest project Kenya can do is, yes, we have known the election was stolen. Then, how can this information reach Kenyans? How can the truth reach Kenyans? Because, Kenyans have been cheated. People think that they have a legitimacy leadership. So, how can we audit IBC? These ideas of having autonomous institution which cannot be told, which cannot be audited is wrong. And I think we need another agency now. I don't know which one can be, but we need another agency. This idea that the only person who can tell you the truth about IBC is Chebukati. So the only thing I need to do is to buy Chebukati, or if you get an evil Chebukati, because those things happen, you get a very bad result on everything. So current system we have cannot help. We need another methodology of improving honesty in our country, because now dishonesty has gone into every corners of our functioning government. And I don't think there is any institution in Kenya which can give you the right thing. I'm not sure. Dishonesty in Kenya has gone to the highest levels possible, to the extent now you cannot trust judiciary, you cannot trust your electoral body, we cannot trust our school, our even election bodies. We cannot trust them. Cheating everywhere. We are just cheating. We are a cheating nation. Why? What is cheating going to give us at the end of the day? Can we form a nation through cheating? Can we form economy through cheating? No. Even if we cheat, the net product will be obvious that even countries which are not doing much will defeat us, because we will be staying in a fake economy. No wonder I even heard some time back that even our dollar value was not the truth value. I was hearing that our economy was a bit not natural, and I was hearing that our dollar value was. There were some foreign people who are saying that Kenyan dollar value is not natural. I don't know how true it is, but that is how people live in lies. So we have too much lies in our country. We are not honest people. If somebody with 5 million votes can defeat somebody with 80 million votes, we need to sit down as Kenyans. That is the most serious thing. That is also showing you that you can become a billionaire in Kenya by doing nothing. If somebody with 5 million can defeat somebody with 8 million, it's not a joke. Unajua saa zingine mimi nasemanga, unajua ni vizuri pia kujiwekanga kwa miguu ya watu wengine. Imagine wewe ulikuwa unatafuta kura. Say wewe ndio ulikuwa Raila, ulikuwa unatafuta kura, alafu mtu anaiba kura yako kutoka milioni 8 anaileta kwa milioni 6 na kitu, na yake anaitoa kutoka milioni 5 sijui milioni ngapi. How would you be feeling now? Unajua saa zingine even as we try to blame Raila na kusema ni kama atosheki, you will feel bitter, and I think Raila has some grace. If you can see, wangekuwa ni watu wengine kama sisi, hata tungekuwa tumevuruga hiyo inchi sana. I hope he still has that resilience that he wants to follow the right channel even to become a leader. But mimi ile kitu hata inanisumbua sana ni ya kwamba somebody want Kenyans not to benefit from Raila president. Because remember, Raila si ati anangojea. Every time you waste Raila time, you are wasting a very serious time for this country. That is what we are losing. I wish there's a way in which justice can be. I don't know who can give Kenyan justice. All our justice system is corrupt. They were bought, but we are losing a lot. History ya kusema, you know, Raila Odinga can be an opposition leader. Yeah, okay, well, he can. But there was something we were to achieve as Kenyans if Raila Odinga became a president. There was something special we were to achieve. But unfortunately, I can see there is somebody who is determined to peg our history and to peg our thinking in medieval time. Ile mafikiri ya kitambo tu anataka tuweka hapo. We have so much to benefit from Raila Odinga presidency. But I'm so sad that somebody sat down and they prevented our children from enjoying Raila presidency. May that person die. Mimi hivyo ndivyo nasema kila siku. May that person die. That is not somebody who needs even to be forgiven. Whoever denied Raila Odinga presidency in Kenya, Mungu amuue tu. Thank you, PK. Matu endelea, naona ni kama PK yaski.
No, actually nilikuwa nataka kukuuliza because now you brought up that number. You know, I'm a number person and sorry. Ushaka chini ukapiga hizo hesabu zile number, I mean how it was distributed. You realize that the 1.7 something million is what was changed to the other side yenye tulipewa ile yenye tulipewa, na the numbers that have come, wale watu wanakataa hii namba yenye tunapewa saa hizi, that the 2 million difference is what was divided in between the number between the portal and the one that has come with the you know, with a whistleblower. That difference of 2 million is the one that was divided to bring Ruto from 5 million all the way to 7, and also ikadividiwa tena kwa Ruto, kwa Raila ikarudi into ikakuja kwa 6 something. When you do that calculation, you still find out that that's the same number that they are talking about, the difference between the two that had happened. And when you look at that, now you start looking at where it was, which is what we had said a long time, hata before kura zitangazwe. And if you remember, ulikuwa hapa, my friend, you were here when we were saying those numbers before itangazwe. And we said when the glitch happened, it was at 3 a.m. Atukulala yo siku. So you start seeing now the sequence of what exactly happened. Because for me, at the time we had the server, the one in Belgium, with the people that we decided to do that with, but still, that number is still coming to show itself. And when you look, unaona nile walichukua hii wakagawa pale, wakaeka pale na wakaeka hii wakaeka pale koko mwingine, and then all those numbers, when you calculate them, you still come down to that two. Actually, I think it's about 3 million, because they're still counting and still looking at it. But I've looked at the dossier. But when you look at that number, it still goes shy of what we had spoken that time before zitangazwe. You were here when we were looking for those numbers, when we were saying those numbers, why Raila had won at that time. So how, and this is not the first time that they've done it. They did it last time, where you take a number, play around with it, give kidogo kidogo hapa, give kidogo kidogo hapa, and try to cover those numbers so that they look real. But this time, they were caught. And whoever is saying these guys were not caught, I feel sorry for you. Because, my brother, you were here. You remember. If I can call you your name, Jiru, you were here. We said it here. You even called us so many times. Are you guys sure about this? We told you yes. When the glitch happened, we said it. This was before elections happened. It's now that people are starting to see these things, but you know we were here. We never slept. You were asking us. You would call me. I would tell you, let me call. Make sure where we are, because we had the numbers. The numbers are there. It's not something that we are making up. And that is what pains me when I hear some people talking about, oh, Ruto alishinda. And I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? To connect the number. Njiru, if you have a 1 + 1 and you did the math and you followed the whole thing and you even invested in it, what are you supposed to do? That's why I kept quiet for some time. And I'm still quiet even today about the numbers. But you, the people who have been here, when we were doing the tallying and everything, we did them here. It's not, I mean, people can go back and look at these numbers when we were doing them before after the zitangazo na kina Chebukate, when we knew it's done. And we told you guys, it's done. It's over. Amechukua. Remember, don't forget. Lakini now, some people like us and even the people that took out their walitoka jobs, the IT guys and all those things, wale watu tulikuwa tumeamua, the groups that we had from different countries to hold this thing. Sometimes we feel down. Tunasikiaga down because we already know we did it and they were there and we took it and we know when they started staging. And when you have a president that is lying to people like us, not even like, lying, not even lying, just stupidly talking some absurd things like, oh, server ilifunguliwa. What do you mean as a portal is a server? A portal is not a server. I mean, now you're making us look stupid. And at the time you find that that's the thing that you've been going to school for. So for me, today I'm, leo niko down kidogo because it sucks when you know you've gone to school to do something. You've spent your money to do something. You've sat down there and you know the numbers, you can see them. You have them. You quote what exactly happened. And then you have someone that thinks everybody is stupid talking about portal and server. Yet the numbers are here. Now they are coming out. And it's not even us that did it. We celebrated Raila's presidency a long time ago before it was even announced. The day that they were going to announce at Bomas, it was Raila going to be announced. He was ready. Even Uhuru was coming to celebrate. And then all of a sudden they started doing matope. And is the reason the military had to take the 2 certificates. And it is a reason for the first time in our country, we saw someone be sworn in as a president, or being given a certificate that is handwritten, and the vice president does not get a certificate. Hata ile akina Kibaki walifanya better because the vice president alipata certificate. Where's Rigathi Gachagwa's certificate? Na mtu akinionyesha saizi nitanyamaza, sitaongea tena. Mtu akinionyesha siku moja aliona certificate ya Gachagua, which is constitutional, that you have to have as a running mate. Mtu akinionyesha saizi, I'll keep quiet and I'll never talk again, because there's nothing. Gachagua has never gotten a certificate. So what is it that we are doing? Tumekuwa mitumba, a country of mitumba, just doing something like that, like this. We have a constitution which we don't even follow. The constitution says the vice president has to have a certificate. It's always been there since independence, since we got our constitution. Hata tukiwa na mkoloni, even in the Queen's constitution. So how comes this is the first time that the vice president does not even have a certificate? Yet the deputy governors have their own certificate. Kenyans, please. Mkiona watu wakisema saizi watu hata wanataka kutembea kwenda State House, is because of the lie. And like I always say, the truth shall run around the world before, the lie shall run around the world before the truth ties its shoes. And the truth is starting to come. And it was bound to come. This time he was not going anywhere. Raila won. We had the numbers before they were announced. The numbers are coming back again. Raila won this election. Raila is the president of the Republic of Kenya. And that's why the military was around. That's why NIS mnasikia sijui nani walikuwa nasema, because it was done. People thought watu wanaogopa tu kupigana. And that's how they're trying to do it, because they know watu wataki kupigana anymore. Because tulipigana 2007 na hakuna mtu anataka kupigana tena hivyo. But push to the shove, watu wataguza kidonda si mzuri. There was an MP, MCA that went to Jacaranda today, a UDA. Alitoloko na mawe, akaingizwa kwa gari yake, akaambiwa toka hapa na uende kabisa. Nilitumia Bernard hiyo nini, and the people on the wale wenye mko kwa nini kwa WhatsApp group zetu, mtaona nilieka hapo hivyo, nilitumiwa na mtu. Guys, we cannot run a country like that. Me personally, this one is personal to me, because it took us 3 days of not going to work, of saving time off of work. Nilikuwa nalala kwa couch hapa hivi, nikiwa kwa simu zinalia back and forth. Tuko huku tunafanya hivi, okay, nani nini unapigiwa, wa Moranga amefikisha pale, na yule ametuma hii, ndio hii huko, tumetangaza hii, you doing the math, umeandika. Yani even my Excel sheet istakagi kuiangalia siku hizi. So the guys that are saying that Raila did not win, you're very wrong on this one. And I don't know how we're going to do it, but the more we keep on talking, and I hope Kenyans, I know Kenyans know, and even central guys are coming to tell us that they don't understand where the votes came from. And I've been asking that for a long time here. Where did Ruto get the votes from? Ask a lot of people, they won't tell you. They don't know. Hawajui. Raila won. He got it. So ni ile kitu unaweza kumeshika glasi ya blue hivi na mtu anakuambia ni ya red. Personally, I know it. Niko ndani, naijua. We did that job. But anyways, wacha ninyamazi hapo hivyo Stone PK. I just wanted to say that we do know for a fact, na mkitaka muniite nitaenda huko niseme, because we do have the numbers even today, and they're even bigger than, a little bit more than huyu mwenye hii yenye ameonesha. I don't think wamemaliza kucount zenye wanaonesha, but it's very true. Na umesikia leo mheshimiwa akikuja hapa hivi akatuambia yeye alienda mpaka huko akaangalia, akachukua hiyo dozia, akaangalia na akaenda nao mpaka kwa nini yake, voting center yake, na ilikuwa inaenda stream to stream. If you look at it, I've had to look down at it na kuangalia na namba zenye tuko nazo, and they match apparently. So wacha ninyamazia hapo. Stone, pole.
Thank you, Kenyan with love. Kenyan with love, unashangaa ati which way to go, na si njia tushaonyeshwa. We are heading to State House. Kwani we bado una doubt? There should be any Azimio person now should not doubt, because the direction has been given. We are heading to State House. There are no two ways. It's just a matter of what time. Meli mengoa nanga. Rocket tushaiweka, iko juu. You can't recall it mpaka imalize mission. Mpaka imalize mission. The drone ishatumwa. We are not calling it back. Nangoja tu bombard mtu. Sikia mtu kichwa imepasuka. Mwizi hatuna huruma na yeye. Kenyan, yes. Kenyan Ginyang.
Gajinang. Okay, asante Stone. Na hao watu wengine hawako hapo saa hiyo ingine, na wasalimia. Nilikuwa nataka kuambia Kenyan all the time, hii serikali sio ati hawajui Raila ni nani. They knew he is a destroyer. And for that reason, they were not ready to be destroyed because of their evil deeds. Karua said, once we get in government, they will be all arrested. They could not wait that. They would do anything to find themselves where they are. And that is why hawa ni wale watu wanapewa mifupa ama nyama, wanaigeuza, hawajui watauma pande gani, kwa sababu hii si kazi yao. Waliichukua, waliinyakua na wakaenda nayo, na hawajui la kufanya nayo. They don't know what to do, but they would rather do what they used to do, stealing, kupokonya watu. Na tena kwa sababu sasa wamefika kwa gala, now it is packing everything. That is their way, and that is their behavior. They are not going to change. They are not going to give us any change at all. Na hiyo mambo yote wanafanya kwa sababu they don't know their life, where they are. How long are we going to be here? That is why they are doing what they are doing. Wakenya, mnataka Wakenya wangapi wakufe kwa sababu ya hii serikali? Ni Wakenya wangapi watakuwa wagonjwa depression kwa sababu ya hii serikali? Ni siku gani tutakataa hii serikali ndio watu wetu wafufuke? kutoka pahali wako, kwa sababu ni kama wamekufa halfway. They are halfway dead because of kunyanyaswa na yale madhara yote wameletewa na hawa watu. These are just few people against millions of people. Why now? Why wait? These are people that are not ready to sustain Kenya rather than destroying. Their pockets will never be full until the time they will be driven out of that state house. They should, because we are not going to wait for Kenyans to die the way they are dying. We cannot imagine that this government is just sitting there doing nothing and not even thinking about the Kenyans who are suffering. I wonder what is going through their minds. Look at how dirty these people are. Very dirty. Hata maongeo yao si ya kusaidia. Hata nini yoyote ambayo wanafanya. In fact, I would ask somebody to tell me one of the CSs. What good things have they said? Wengine hata wanapeana information ya CS yule mwingine. Unashindwa hawa watu walimetoka wapi? Instead of their own ministry or whatever department he is, you find him crossing the other side and giving information about another CS. I mean, ati ni conference anafanya ya CS mwingine. Unashindwa hawa watu kwani hawana kuelewa ati mimi ni wa kilimo, huyu mwingine ni wa wanyama, ama huyu mwingine ni wa maji. You find them, they are crooked. They don't know what they are doing. Even a lay person can do better than that. Why are they taken for training, retreat? What for? Where did they come from? From school? These are people who have lived with the people wherever they have been, and they know that the problems people are going through, but they don't care. They would rather be in V8, driven to other places, expensive hotels, not anything crossing their mind that there are people suffering. Wakenya hivyo ndivyo tunataka. Wakenya tutaongoja mpaka tuvunjike miguu tuishe ndio tutaamuka, ama tuachilie tu tukufe? Nani atakuzika na hao hawana haja na wewe? And especially those who are called hustlers. What are you going through after being called a hustler? In fact, even that name, you should refuse it. Say you are not a hustler, you are a Kenyan. We better refuse that word, name, hustler. Tuseme sisi ni wa Kenya. Hatutaki kuitwa hustlers. Hiyo ni yao. Wao ndio hustlers na ndio wezi. Wana hustle pesa ya wananchi, wanaweka mfukoni, wanaua Kenyans. We should refuse that name, hustler, as from now, because it does not impress anybody. It is not even supposed to be used on Kenyans who are struggling now, looking for school fees, looking for food, looking for medicine. We are not hustlers, we are Kenyans. Ikiwa wanatuita hustlers ndio watutumie, tukataa hiyo jina. Tuseme we are Kenyans dying because of hunger, struggling for school fees, and dying looking for medicine. And those old Kenyans are dying because of hunger. That is what should stand. Never call yourself hustler anymore. Let them be hustlers, and let them do whatever they are doing. It will come to an end. And that name, they will go with it, wherever they will go, because that is not their state house. They need to vacate and go where they came from, because they look like they came from horrible place. This is the time they are trying to make their life better, using Kenyans' funds. They have been crooks If not now, they have been crooks until today, until the time they will get out of the state house. I believe Kenyans understand what is going on and the pain that people are going through. And we are looking forward to see that Kenya liberated and Kenyans going back to live. Wale wote wamenyongeka saa hii, tujaribu kusaidiana, wawe na nguvu, kwa sababu liberation is coming. Ndio watu waanze kusimama na miguu yao miwili. Kuna shida nyingi. Hatuwezi kubali Wakenya wawe wanakufa, wale wengine wanakula. And in fact, these people, the knowledge they have in their mind is only to go to those who are able to stand. Those who are not able to stand, they are let to go, to perish. How is that? Hustlers? No. We are all Kenyans. We are not hustlers. Na Mungu atubariki na atusaidie. Atupee uwezo wa kufikiri vizuri, kwa sababu hawa wametumaliza akili zetu. Lakini Mungu atatunyunyizia nguvu na atatusimamisha, ndio tutekeleze ile kazi muhimu ya kufanya hawa watu wajue sisi ni wa Kenya, na Kenya yetu iwe imesimamiwa na watu ambao wanatujali masilahi, na watu ambao wanajua ni nini kimewapeleka State House. Wakenya msilale. This is the time to fight for our Kenya, and it will be history. That one I will not forget. It will be history in Africa, that Kenya will be in another book, that they fought for their liberation again. Because hawa ni haina, wale hawana huruma hata kidogo. Asanteni ndugu zangu.
Thank you very much, Kenyan Ginyan. Wakanda, umeweza ku...
Yeah.
Feel you can say something now?
Yes, I think I can say a bit.
Go ahead.
Chakamudume anaitisha nini link?
Haya nitampa sasa hivi.
Yeah, I can say a bit. The first thing is I think there are two major contentious issues. One is electoral justice. The second one is high cost of living. So I've been trying to digest these things after Baba's speech, and I'm seeing point of convergence. Whether someone calls themselves UDA or Hustler, there is that convergence that I think Ruto might find it hard to deal with, because you promised people that you are going to do A, B, C, D. You promised people, like Ruto promised his people bottom up, like we are going to uplift people. But in actual sense, he said after 100 days. So after more than 100 days, we are talking about 5 months or 6 months down the line. If you look at where the question is this the bottom up, where do we have low cost of living? The answer is no. So even the people who are even those people who are like very activated, like fighting for UDA, I think that morale has gone. No one will be like, let's defend these people. So what this one has done to some extent is giving him time, and these are isolated issues. Like, he cannot mobilize, let's say, certain parts of the country to protect him because he is in government. So the only thing that he's left with is to manage the instruments of power, but he cannot mobilize wananchi effectively to protect him. That one, I don't think he will manage it. The high cost of living, and electoral justice, the numbers are very clear. And up to now, we are still waiting for ODA or IBC to say that the numbers we are talking about, or the numbers Azimio are talking about, are not real. And we are also waiting for ODA and Kenya Kwanza and IBC to say that Azimio do not have facts, and here is the website, here is the server. If they can say, here is the server, you confirm, we are 100% sure that we want it, we'll be good. So we don't have any doubt about the integrity of the whistleblower. We know whatever the whistleblower said is 100%, even 101% right. So when we look at Kenya Kwanza and whatever they promised, like their manifesto, they were talking about after baada ya kuweka Biblia chini, bei ya unga itarudi chini, na the cost of electricity will go down and fuel will go down, and remove some of the punitive taxes and make fuel cheaper. That, in fact, at one point, Ruto was talking about fuel having the reason why fuel was expensive was that there were more than 15 or 17 various taxes that the government has imposed on the fuel. So up to now, we are waiting for him to remove all those taxes, but I know he won't. And then the high cost of living, like, it's very simple. There's no need of Gachagua or Ruto or even members of parliament putting us or pushing to get funding for bursaries. We don't need bursaries. What every Kenyan need is free primary and secondary education. Because as we speak, most of these bursaries mostly goes to government institutions like primary or the secondary or universities. I think what is needed is, I know that there are people who will deny that, but right now people are crying about high cost of living, watu wanarudisha watoto shule, but pesa kuna, kara kuna. The question is, why should government take money from this coffer and then put it this side and push it to wananchi to pretend that they are doing something, while in actual fact, the government can say, yeah, there's no fee to be paid and everybody can access education so that no one is left behind. So hii story ya bursary ni mchezo ya watoto, waachane na hiyo. And that's why for me, that's why personally I supported Azimio, because in actual sense, history ya bursary, it's bullshit. Because mtu anapewa 10,000, mwingine anapewa 5,000, anapewa this term, next term pia anataka kuapply, and not everybody can access it. So the reason why personally I was like, yes, I believe in Azimio, one of the main issue was that, because it's very clear that if we say education is free, and there are countries which have done it, Finland has done it, and people can access education. So when we want to talk about literacy level, we want to improve services, we want to invest in our youth or the future, we must start with education. And the best way to do it, make education free and accessible to all Kenyans, not bursaries. Bursaries will never make education free and accessible to everyone. So that, for me, that was one of my biggest point of departure, apart with the Kenya Kwanza, apart from the numerous ones, like their lack of integrity. In terms of policies, I still believe Azimio had progressive policies. And then when we talk about electoral justice, I think Raila has said it very clear. For me, I'm not clear. I'm not understanding the other bit, but I will leave the other bit to maybe with time I will understand it. But what I understand, the pathway that Raila is setting, number one is to do more rallies, so that this awareness, so that people can understand, everyone, so that it's not only Nairobi, but it should be like a countrywide movement where everybody is in the same page. Before any action, let everyone participate. And one of the things that I think Raila is doing well, or Azimio, Kalonzo, or Martha, what I like about whatever they are doing now is they're engaging people directly from the ground. There is that space for other young people, for people from Mashinani to actively engage in this process, which is very important. The idea of putting MPs, members of parliament, in charge, I think is long gone. Acha Ruto achukue hawa watu awaweke ndani aende nao. We don't have any problem, because some of these people are just defending their interests, personal interests, most of the MPs. And throughout this process, if this is what is going to happen, if it happens that Ruto will buy out MPs thinking that he might derail the process, what will happen is we will have an emerging leadership. We will have people like Mutembei. We will have people at the grassroots level who will replace this. It will happen automatically, and I have no doubt with that. Gaucho and other guys will claim their rightful place, because in most cases, the people who normally mobilize people, nobody hears about them. But this is an opportunity for Baba to build that grassroots network, and that team will be unbreakable. That one I know for sure. If the MPs go away, they are actual. In fact, there are Kenyans who feel the pain, who feel the pinch. Some of these MPs will not feel the pain. As we speak, some of them earn like 1 million a month, so they will not feel the pain. But there are young people who feel the pain, who must be at the center of the struggle. And that is one thing that I'm happy about. So if Baba continues the way I think with whatever he's doing, consulting and holding most of the meetings with Wananchi directly to establish that link, I know it will go far. And lastly, when we look at the end game, Baba has two choices as the leader. Baba has to choose whether he wants to check the government, or he has to choose to take whatever belongs to him. So either way, but handshake should not be handshake. We all agree that handshake is not an option. The two options that Baba have is either to be an active opposition leader, of which we are not happy about, or to take what belongs to him. Because when we start talking about, now I can understand, when we start talking about high cost of living, fuel, it is because of the current government, which does not have the right policies. Number one, what they did is removing the subsidies, and they said clearly that subsidies, that they are going to put subsidies on production, and you wonder, like, which production? What are they producing now? When we are talking about hunger and starvation, it will take about 8 months to grow anything serious. And if you remove subsidies, are you telling people to die? Because you cannot stay angry for 6 months waiting for to collect fertilizer. You cannot stay for 6 months collecting fertilizer that because someone is saying that let's wait. And Kenyans have also gone to church. You go to church, you pray. After that, you need to eat. So even the prayers will not help. It's more of an action. Everybody knows how to pray. So kila mtu wanga anaenda, hata pastor mwenye anaomba. In the end of the day, they have to eat. So these ideas, we are closer to God than any other person. That is bullshit. Lastly, I've had the guy that calls himself the current AG talking about Article 108, that they want to introduce Article 108 in Parliament so that they can make they can tweak and make a few changes on Article 108. And one of the changes that they are proposing is to change majority and minority leadership, that the person who loses the election becomes the minority leader in parliament. So that they becomes the minority leader and then becomes the opposition leader. So those are I think that is what the Kenya Kwanza is trying to do. For them, they think the solution for this is to have a constitutional amendment so that the Baba could become opposition leader in parliament, which everyone is. I don't know who is advising them, but we will see where this one will take them. Otherwise, a luta continua. Yeah.
Thank you very much Wakanda. Chaka Mdune, alafu baada ya Chaka tuende kwa Geoffrey, baada ya Geoffrey tuende kwa Lea. Ebu una swali out Ninja?
Yes.
Uliza.
Yes,
Chaka subiri kidogo aulize swali.
Before the likes of Chaka warm up to the debate that is on the floor, I wanted to make a few corrections here on two of our panelists who have spoken the last. I'm gonna start with Kenyan with love, and Kenyan with love. You spoke very well. You articulated your issues very well, but I got a problem with the way that you are addressing the person who is occupying the office of the president. That person cannot and will not and should never be addressed as a president. And I heard you twice saying President Ruto. Take that out of your vocabulary. That person, if you want to address him, if you want to be respectful, you can say Mr. Ruto. If you want to call her you want to call him with his real names, call him with Ruto, Dhagruto, Animal Ruto, Fisi Ruto, ama Haina Ruto, something of that nature. Lakini usijaribu kutuambia President Ruto hapa. The person who gets the majority vote never becomes the president. The minority vote never becomes the president. Now, I'm done with Kenyan with love. The next person that I wanted to address is Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever, we don't have two options. we only have one option. The person who wins the presidency, of all the indications have shown, as IBC have not said that the numbers that they have been presented with, they are wrong, as the current occupier of the office has not rejected those numbers. So we know that that's the person who won. So we have only one option: to take the winner. And I'm going to tell you the winner in a second. Raila Amolo Odinga, seconded by Mother Karua, to the office. We don't have the opposition, the position that you are trying to talk about here, being created by the AG of the opposition. That is talk for another day. Once we get Amolo Odinga to the office, and I wanted to make it very clear to you, Mr. Wakanda. It's gonna reach a point. It's not a question of whether the winner, Raila Amolo Odinga, wants or he doesn't want. We will take him there. You win, we give you the sword. I just wanted to make those points. I have got more points, but I wanted just to make those two clear so that you can hear from the other people.
Point taken, kabisa. Mato, you want to rebut, but I thought it was just a correction. Okay, Mato, I mean Kenyan with love.
My friend, Outnager, I don't know what you heard from me, but I doubt if in this forum I've ever called Ruto a president.
I heard you say you said by mistake. I was listening to you. Both of my ears were listening to you. Sema ilitoka kimakosa, we will forgive you.
Okay, sir, basi ilitoka kimakosa. Mimi I've never done that. I don't think kama ilitoka hata mimi naenda kutubu. Saizi naenda kutubu saizi. I've never done that. Anyone that knows me knows that has never happened.
Okay, you should first of all lazima kwanza utubu in this forum, alafu uende utubu somewhere in privately.
Aya, sawa, natubu. Unajua Father Darius ako huko. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Ai, Ruto atoke wapi ati president wa nani?
You said that, listening to you, and I was very wacha niseme the word, I was very pissed off when you said that, because that's not like you. I know you very well.
Hiyo basi sijui, maybe nilitegwa na kitu ama nilimeza mate vibaya. Sorry.
Hiyo tumemaliza. Na just in case mtu mwingine anataka kutumia hiyo jina, please utuondokee hapa.
Mato, can I say something?
Guys, I'm not the chair.
Ilikuwa nafasi yangu.
Stone Pick is the chair, so don't ask me as the chair. When I'm the chair, you can ask me. I'm even asking.
He's on phone. He's on phone.
Ilikuwa nafasi yangu, Geoffrey. Nikitoka nikupe ndugu yangu na wewe. Ilikuwa nafasi yangu kidogo. Naomba kidogo. Najua.
Okay. Order. Chaka
Can you be the entry?
Order, guys, until Stone PK comes back. And Leo is here too, can help me.
But Mato already, Stone PK had already pronounced that the next person is Chaka. So don't free. I know you are here, and we can even be here up to 1. Kindly, there is a reason why Chaka ukisikia melea, wacha submit, then we bado tuko na wewe hapa, tutapambana. Chaka, endelea.
Asante Nyabaya kwa kunielewa zaidi kwamba hali ni hizo za mkongojo, ndio nakuta tukiingia yani ndio hivyo, but nishukuru pia kwa hii nafasi. Alafu pia brother yangu hapo out ni nje, asante sana kwa kuweza kumkosoa ndugu yangu hapo Kenyan with love. Hatuna rais Ruto, tuna rais Raila Odinga kwa sababu yeye ndio mwenye ushindi. Vile vile pia niongezee mahali ameacha ndugu yangu hapa Wakanda. Nafikiri alikuwa anazungumzia kile kamba ilikuwa katika nafsi yangu. Kile ambacho nilikuwa nakizungumzia kuanzia jana mpaka sasa hivi, hapo nilikuwa nimesimama mahali amezungumzia. Na shida si kwamba tunataka Raila. Kwa nini? Shida tunang'ang'ana tuhakikishe tunapata haki, hususan katika chaguzi zetu. Tusirudi mahali kila siku tutakuwa tunaambiwa let's accept and move on, ili hali kura ya mwananchi hazungumzi. So this is the time tuhakikishe kwamba tunazika huu ugonjwa kabisa na kusahaulisha machoni pa Wakenya. Ndivyo tujenge rekodi mpya katika Kenya yetu, East Africa, Afrika na hata dunia nzima. Tumalizane na hawa wakora wenye kuhakisha wanaingia katika mamlaka na uongozi kutumia milango ya nyuma. Kwa sababu naamini kwamba si kwamba ni kura za urais peke yake zenye zinywa hivyo, hata kuna baadhi ya wabunge walichinjwa tu. Kuna baadhi ya magavana walichinjwa tu. Kuna baadhi ya maseneta walichinjwa tu. Mfumo huo ulitumika na tumika on daily basis kwamba anayechaguliwa mwingine anayepata ushindi mwingine. Ni vitu ambavyo tunataka tuvisahaulishe. Na hatuwezi visahaulisha kama tutaendelea na hii regime ambayo imeshindwa. Ingia hapa katika uongozi, tumeshuhudia wakifagilia GMO, wakiona watu wanapiga mshindo kwamba hawa watu wananyamazia, wakarudi hii serikali ikatuambia kwamba tuna plan, kwanza tumuongeza hata zaidi awe ni rais ambaye ataweza kutawala maisha. Walipokuja na propaganda hii, waliviona hii nayo itadunda mno, wakabalisha. Yani hawa ni wamefuatilia hii serikali ya Venezuela hii. Maana si serikali ya mwananchi. Serikali ya Venezuela ikisaidiwa na Chebukati na Martha Koome wamefail since wakati ule wa mwanzo. Tutazame, tukumbuke tu hapo nyuma mawaziri haswa akina Murkomen, uwanja wa ndege, tulikuwa hapa jinsi walivyo fail. Akina Linturi jinsi walivyo fail. Akina Moses Kuria jinsi walivyo fail. For the first time wamepewa hayo majukumu tu. So hii ilianza na kufail. Kwa hiyo hapa lengo ni kuhakikisha kwamba sauti ya Mkenya ikizungumza debeni ndio tunayopewa. Na sauti ya uchaguzi uliokuwa wa August 2022 watu walimchagua Raila. Na huo ndio ukweli. Na hata Mlima ilimchagua Raila. Lakini kwa sababu ya hawa janja ambao tunataka tuwakomeshe, ili isitokee tena kizazi hiki tukimalize kabisa chenye hizi roho. Maana hawa ndio wanatupa utawala mbovu. Hawa ndio ambao hawana haja na Mkenya, kwa sababu nguvu yao kwamba wanajua jinsi walivyopata uongozi ni kwa jasho yao nyingine, upande mwingine si kwa ajili ya kura. Sasa baadaye wanatuletea wananchi, wanatufumba macho kwamba walichaguliwa kihalali na Kenya. Hakuna. Hapa lazima tutapigania hilo. Na baba atupe neno la mwisho hiyo Jumapili. Na option moja tu kama alivyozungumzia ndugu yangu hapo out ni nje. Lazima tuchukue ushindi wetu. Hii propaganda wanaipanga eti wapeleke mswada bungeni wakiongozwa na huyu aliyekuwa spika wao, aliyekuwa spika wa bunge, sasa hivi na bwana mkuu wa sheria. Haka kai plan wanaipanga, ndio hiyo handshake wanaitafuta kimlango wa nyuma. Tena warudi kwamba sisi hatukubali handshake. Tulitaka mtu ambaye atakuwa opposition leader, ambaye atacounter check, atatuangalia ile kazi tunaifanya. Sisi hapa tujaribu tukaendelea kuwanyanyasa wananchi. Ni upuzi. Kenya tumechoka kubebwa kimaembe maembe. Tunahitaji huduma. Tunahitaji watoto wasome bure. Ndivyo elimu, naamini elimu ndio uti wa mgongo. Tunahitaji hospitali zetu ziwe na madawa na ziwe na madaktari wa kutosha. Tunahitaji barabara. Tunahitaji stima vijijini huku. Stima hiyo kama itakuwa imepelekwa juu namna hiyo, utamletea mwananchi huku, itamfaidisha nini? Je, itamsaidia je kunyanyua maisha yake? So ni mengi ambayo tunapigania hiyo, lakini la kwanza tunalopigania ni kuhakikisha tumemalizana na masuala ya uchaguzi. Chaguzi zijazo, awe mheshimiwa Raila, awe nani anayekuja, njia iwe ni swafi. Hakuna ukora tena. La pili tunalolipigania hapa ni harama ya maisha. Tunalozungumzia hapa kama Wakenya wenye kuipenda nchi yetu ni harama ya maisha. Hatutaendelea kuteseka namna hii. Hatutaendelea kubebeshwa mzigo namna hii. Inauma. So kwa wale mtu anapokea payslip mwisho wa mwezi hataona ni mzigo. Lakini kwa wale wana nguvuze ndio wanahisi na kubeba huo mzigo. Mimi nikiwa mmoja wao ndio naona uzito hii serikali hii. Kwa hivyo hapa mambo ni mawili tunayapigania wananchi na ndugu zangu, ni kuhakikisha kwamba tumemalizana masuala na chaguzi zetu. Wezi wakora wenye navyo hawezi nunua wakatumia pesa yao kuingia katika mamlaka hata kidogo. Yule Mkenya amemchagua, yule ndiye afaa asimame pale pale, kwa sababu huyo ndio watu wamwamini. La sivyo hakuna haja tena na chaguzi. Kama baba atakubali akubali kwamba awe kiongozi wa upinzani, akamtacheki serikali, but there's no need for us going for election come 2027. Hakuna haja. Itakuwa tuna nguvu gani ya kwenda katika chaguzi wakati wao wanajua kuchagua ni nani atakuwa rais, nani atakuwa prime minister, nani makamu wa rais, nani atakuwa ni nini? Tuna haja gani ya kwenda Hakuna haja. But kwa sababu tunaamini baba alishachaguliwa kihalali, yeye ndio rais wetu. Mimi simwamini Ruto tangia mwanzo kwamba ni rais wangu. Hata kabla mheshimiwa Raila hajatangaza juzi, sikuwa na muamini Ruto kuwa ni rais wangu. Na ndio maana on daily basis hapa nilikuwa napinga yale wanayafanya na zile akili wanakuja nazo kwa Wakenya kutaka kutuwatumia vibaya mno. Kwa hiyo baba awe na option moja tu ya kuenda kuchukua ushindi wake. Hapo tutakuwa tumetengeneza historia. Japo hao wa Venezuela watakuwa wametengeneza wameingia katika vitabu vya kumbukumbu kwamba walikuwa rais, haitafutika. Lakini awe ni rais wa miezi mitatu katimuliwa. Sasa hapo historia itabaki ya Mkenya milele. Na yale mataifa hapa majirani wanaoteseka, nadhani watakuwa wamepata ufunguo kutoka kwetu. Tutaanza kuona haya mambo yakitendeka katika nchi zenye viongozi sampuli hii, tukianza na wa Uganda hapa jirani zetu. So Kenya, wacheni kugawanywa. Hawa wanakuja hapa bado wako na kwamba tunapiga domo kaya hapa, hakuna chochote, maana uongozi ushaenda. Hayo mambo yalipitwa na wakati. Hakuna mkubwa Kenya hii huu kama zaidi ya mwananchi. Hata awe rais huko haizi akawa rais bila kuja kumpigia magoti mwananchi huku kumwambia kumfurahi. So ndugu zangu, tujeni pamoja, tusiwe kama nyoka. Tusiwe kama nyoka, kwa ni wakali kweli, lakini sasa ukimpata ni mmoja tu, uwezi wapata 10 hata siku moja. Laiti Nyabaya uje wakute nyoka 10 ndio hawa wanakufuata, hizo mbio utakazotimka hapo uongo. Kwa hiyo sisi tusigawanywe, tusikubali kugawanywa ovyo ovyo. Kabila zote tushikane pamoja, na kwa kushikana kwetu katika hali ya huu ushindi tutakapokuweza kuupata na victory kurudi na freedom yetu kuipata, that's the time tutakuwa tumekuamua hatua ya kwanza ya kumalizana na ukabila. Maana hakuna kabila tahisi ameachwa nje. Pili, tutakuwa tumeanza kupata nafasi ya kuweza kuwafuatilia hawa waporaji. Hawa sasa hivi wamejifisha ngozi ya kondoo, utadhani hakuna walokole kama wao, hakuna vile wanakosa kanisa. Lakini naamini kwamba yoyote yule, si wote wale wanasema bwana bwana ndio ambao watauona ufalme wa mbinguni. Sasa watu wanapiga matai Jumapili, hakuna jinsi mtu anaweza mobilize watu mpaka kwa kanisa ama kwa mazishi. Na mfano wa juzi tu Jakaranda, ile kipenga tulivyopigwa, uone mtu ambaye huwa ana ushindi anavyokaa na mtu ambaye hana ushindi anavyokaa. Leo nitatoa huo mfano, hiyo tofauti. Aite mkutano wake hapo Nairobi tu, huyo Ruto, kama kutakwenda watu kama walio kama hata tumia kuwahonga na kuwatumia magari na kuanua lunch, na ukitazama ni watu kidogo tena kabila chache, si wote, ajaribu. Lakini hawana watu, ndiposa kila Jumapili, na kwa sababu aliteka kanisa na makasisi wanaongozwa na tamaa kuliko tamaa za kimwili na za yani si neno la Mungu. Akishapewa gari na kupewa milioni 1, basi kasisi ndio ashakwenda na maji. Ndipo wanamotumia kumobilize watu ni kwa mazishi, hapo ndo wanakatilisi wapate sauti ya kuzungumza. Hii si serikali ya Mkenya. Serikali ya Mkenya tunaijua ni ya Raila Amolo Odinga, na lazima tusimame na yeye ili kuweza kulinusuru hili taifa letu kwa watu ambao wanataka kulimaliza, kwa watu ambao wanachezesha biashara tukiona. So mimi sitaki kuwa mrefu ndugu zangu, lakini kwangu ni kwa rai wa Kenya wenzangu, turudi pamoja. Umoja wetu ndio nguvu yetu, ushirikiano wetu ndio manufaa yetu, kujitolea kwetu na kujituma kwetu ndio kutakatufulisha kutoka kupeleka mbele zaidi. Maana hapa ni kujitolea, roho mkononi, liwe liwalo, lakini tuhakikisha tumepata hii victory yetu na tumempa mwenye ushindi. Tuone kama hii Kenya haitabadilika, tuone kama watoto hawatasoma bure, tuone kama wazee hawatapata hizo 6,000. Mimi hata sina haja baba niambie 6,000 za kuwapa wa Kenya zinatoka wapi, kwa sababu naziona mimi hapa nilipo, naziona. Nikianza na zile pesa zilizoregeshewa Gachagua bilioni 7 bilioni 7.3 si 0.4, hizo ndo pesa tutazozipata kwa ziwasaidie familia maskini waweze kupata hizo 6,000, zitawasaidia pakubwa. Mtu atakopa mahali hata kama ni kwa duka, najua nikipata pesa zangu mwisho wa mwezi 6,000 nitakuja kulipa, ashanusurika. Kuliko hawa waliotuambia kwamba ni wajenga uchumi, kumbe ni waangusha uchumi. Kuliko hawa wanasema sisi tutadili na economy, na economy yao ni kuhakikisha palipo pesa jicho liko pale pale, ili wapate kuigawa hii keki kwa wao. We are now tired as Kenyans. Tusidanganyane hapa. Hapa tuambiane ukweli ili tulinusuru hili taifa kwa sasa hivi na kwa kuitetea vizazi vinavyokuja. Wakati ni sasa. Wakati wa kulikomboa hili taifa kwa maneno ni sasa. Huu ukombozi mpya na watatu huu wa uchumi ndio tunauanzisha sasa. Tuone kama Kenya itafika wapi. Haitafika mbele. Kama tutapata the right person pale juu ambaye amechaguliwa na anahisi ana ule uchungu kwamba nilichaguliwa kweli mimi na wananchi, nitawafanyia kazi, kuliko kwamba tuongozwe na mtu ambaye alitumia pesa zake kuwa pale juu, uone kama anaweza kuthamini kama mwananchi. Maana hiyo ndio tofauti tulionao sasa hivi. So Kenyans, let's come together. Turudi pamoja, wacheni kuwa na uoga. Tumekuwa na watu waliopigania uhuru na walishikana kabila zote. ndio tulikomboa hili taifa. Baadaye ndio karudi kwamba wengine ndio wanajiita maumau, lakini hata huyo maumau kuna mtu alimsubiria atoke na akasema uongozi umenipa kweli, lakini nitamsubiria atoke. Na hakuwa peke yake mwenye kuzungumza hayo, alikuwa na wengine na viongozi wengine, kwamba lazima mwenzetu arudi hapa. Huo ndio umoja huo wa Kenya, na ndio maana sasa hivi tunauregesha ule umoja ule. Watu wapaze sauti, watu wajitolee, tuhakikishe kwamba ushindi huu tumempa mwenye ushindi. Na hawa watu baada ya hapo, mwenye kuiba abebe msalaba wake, ni mahakamani. Aregeshe pesa zetu zinunue madawa, aregeshe pesa zetu zile mtu ameiba zinaende zitengeneze barabara, aregeshe pesa zetu zikatengeneze masuala ya elimu, watoto wasome bure. Kule kukalisha huu msitu uliojaa wakora wenye wamepora pesa mingi wenye wako nazo. Mimi nitakwamia pale ndugu zangu, nisipandishe munkari zaidi, kwa sababu light kama ningekuwa na uwezo wa kuweza kuipendua nchi, wallahi mimi ningeingia State House. Vile sina uwezo tu, na nikatimua haswa light kama ningejaliwa na uwezo. Njoo ni kitu kinanitia uchungu sana. Hatuwezi ongozwa na wezi, hatuwezi ongozwa na watu waongo. Leo wakizungumza hili, kesho wamezungumza hili, na hiyo pia Wakenya bado mna support. Hii ni nini hiyo hasela? Wako wapi hao mama mboga na boda bodas? Where are they? Lini ulisikia mtu talisia kauli moja inazungumzia boda boda sasa hivi na mama mboga na Wanjiku? Zaidi ya kahawa mlima na majani chai mlima. Hata huyo mkutano ameenda amezungumzia kahawa na majani chai mlima. Na hawa Wakenya wengine, please let's come together, tupiganie nchi yetu, tupiganie ukombozi wa tatu, na Mungu atatusaidia. Hakuna refu lisiokuwa na mwisho. Na siku zote mimi huzungumzia hapa, hata juzi nilizungumzia kwamba ujanja wa nyani ni mwisho ni jangwani tu, na ushafika. Wa open server hawataka kufungua server, watupe ushindi wetu. Wafungue server tuone kile kiko pale ndani. Si mambo ya kwamba poto, si kuna poto, si kuna nini. Hiyo kitu tunataka kusikia. Let them open server, wafungue. Hapo tutakapojua mshindi ni nani, halisi ni nani. Na hapo ndo tutakuwa tumekuamua na tumemjua haswa mjanja hapa ni nani. Lakini I don't believe ujanja wa nyani unaelekea jangwani sasa hivi. Hakuna miti, sijui itakuwaje. Asanteni.
Stone PK barabara. Asante sana Chakandume. Uwezo unao, usiseme huna uwezo. Uwezo unao. Na hivi karibuni lazima tutaenda tunyakue ushindi huo. Naona wengine wanakuja hapa wanatype vitu, watu kama kina Keep Elijah, if at all you are here and you've been following us each and every day, and I can see you're even having a top fan badge, and you're saying that we people are saying nonsense here, I think there's something wrong with your mind. You need to interrogate your external mind so that it can agree with your internal mind. Your internal mind is here and they know what you're saying here is making sense internally. But because your external mind has been compromised and lured and cheated by Ruto, so it doesn't want to accept what your internal brain is telling you. So you need to ensure these two parts of your brain agree instead of typing some nonsense here. In fact, what you're typing is what is not making sense. I was told the next person is supposed to be Godfrey Ouma.
Okay, thank you, Leo. I greet you all, my friends. There's something I'm going to kuchangia about what Wakanda said, but before I go to what Wakanda said, Mr. Outi Ninje, how are you? There's something you have raised up.
I'm good, sir. I'm good.
Yeah, there's this issue you have raised up, issue ya kuita huyu mwizi president. You know, si atakuwa tunataka kumuita president, but sometimes unashtuka tu umemuita. Si atakuwa tumeitoa kwa mdoko wa nini yetu, kwa roho yetu. Huyu hatuwezi muita president, but sometimes it happens tu unashtukia tumemuita president kwa sababu ni vile hapo pale. So usitulaumu sana, tulikuwa inapitia tu ani. Si ati tunaitoa kwa mdoko kwa moyo. Wakanda, there's something you talked about that we only have two issues. One is either we take our victory. The second one is either we check the government. I can assure you that we are not checking this government as opposition. That is for sure. I can assure you, we are not taking it as opposition. My only concern is that we are going for our victory. But sasa kuna shida kidogo. Shida ni kuwa yesterday nini was live. This guy anaitwaje? Huyu Okanga was live. Akawa anaulizwa maswali. So by the time akawa anaulizwa maswali, I wanted to know what is really happening on the ground in Nairobi. Nikaingia kwa channel na nikamuuliza, because I wanted to know if hii moto ambao baba alikuja nayo kwa Kamkunji ndio iko on the ground ama haiko on the ground. I came to learn that kumbe hakuna watu ambao wanaitembeza hii fire on the ground. Watu wamenyamaza tu, wanangoja mpaka baba akuja aongee ndio twende. Baba akuja aongee ndio twende. I think this is the right time that we need people. You know, taking power si kitu rahisi. And that's why I was pushing for this channel ifanye 24 hours. At least sahi watu wa Kenya wameamuka sahi, at least they can listen. Na ufuate kitu ambacho tunasema. Taking power in fact from this guy, huyu mwizi. This guy is not a good person. Huyu mtu ni brutal na ni mtu ambaye anaweza ua kwa sababu mambo yake kwa ni izeda uwe lakini asikose. Ni izeda apate na apate. So what I was asking Kenyans ni kuwa, you know, in South Africa before the revolution took place, ni youths ambao walianzisha that revolution. And those youths saw what was happening. Wakawa wamekasirika. Na wakati walikasirika, walianza kupiga kuvunja vitu. Wanapata watu wameketi kwa group, wanavunja hizo vitu, wanawaambia mbona mnasherekea? Unajua wazee wa kitambo walikuwa wanapenda kuketi, wanakunywa pombe, wanapiga story, alafu walikuwa na ile mentality kwa maogopa wazungu. So wakawa wanatupa hizo machupa zao za pombe, wanawaambia mbona mnaketi hapa mnasherekea na kule wasichana wetu wanakuwa raped, watu wetu wanauliwa, wazungu wanachukua shamba zetu. Hapo wakati vijana waliamuka, kuna some leaders ambao waliona potential in these guys, in these youths, na wakawachukua, wakawatrain kisiri. Sasa wakati walianza kupush on, jamaa walikuwa tayari wako na courage, na walikuwa wako na walikuwa washapata strategy how they move with their course. Sisi hapa baba has lightened the lamp. But now hakuna mtu ambaye anapush pale chini. Kinokanga wakishatoka kwa mkutano, hakuna mtu anawasaidia kule chini kupush on this thing kwa sababu kitu si rahisi kuchukua. So what I was asking, kina Raila should plan au na strategy, at least kuwa na watu ambao watapush. You know, tukisema tunaenda on the front line, sahi vijana wataenda sawa, kina Okanga watakuwa mbele. But now si kitu ambacho itachukua one day, ni kitu inaweza enda karibu 2 weeks, inaweza enda kwa 1 week. On that 1 week we need people who are strong. We need people who can survive. And unajua sasa tuna economy imechangia kila kitu maribu. Sasa watu wako weak, watu wako na njaa. Sasa mtu kukaa for 2 weeks kama hajakula haitakuwa rahisi. We need somebody. Raila should have a group of people ambao wana push, wanaonyesha watu strategy ambao watatumia. I talked to Okanga but hakuniambia ni strategy ambayo iko pale. Alituambia sisi njia yetu ni twende tuchukue. Tunaweza hata tukachukua, lakini sasa isifanyike kama ile ambayo ilifanyika 2017, ile ambayo baba alichukua akaapishwa lakini ilikuwa haina effect. Sasa hii we need tukienda kuchukua, tunachukua na we took the real thing na baba achukue uongozi. But we need strategy. Si kunyamaza itatusaidia. Yes, Mato.
Leo, sorry.
Yes, I can see your hand up. Huh?
No, Leo, it's you. Can you, Leo? Can you?
Okay, just a minute. Yeah, I can hear you. And just a minute before you respond or you ask your question, I see what.
No, I didn't want to respond anything. I just wanted you to put your number, your WhatsApp number. I don't have it. If you can put it out there, there's a video I want to send you and see if you can play it. Because you're easier to play. My thing is acting up.
All right, I'm doing so. Wakanda, before I give you a minute, I just want to make a clarification. You know, these guys like misleading people. Like Nico Diambo is already misleading some there in the Facebook that the Jacaranda rally has been postponed. Nico Diambo, Jacaranda rally has not been postponed, will not be postponed, and don't dream of that. The rally is still on, and we tell your neighbors to prepare to attend the rally. What happened is, the letter that you people are saying was written by somebody called Samuel Ochola. He is the Secretary General of Gor Mahia. I myself am not only a fan of Gor Mahia, I'm a member who votes in that club, and I'm also a shareholder in the Gor Mahia Sacco. So the request they were requesting Raila, I think I'll just take a minute and read for you the letter. Yeah? They said, To our esteemed patron, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, belated Happy New Year and the best wishes for all your plans and endeavor in this year. We, the Kogalo fraternity, are aware that you have planned a consultative meeting with Wananchi Kamdemo on Sunday, 29th January 2023. As our dear patron, we wish to remind you of our Mashemeji Derby clash with AFC Leopards at 3 p.m. Nyayo Stadium, the same day that you will be holding consultative meeting Kamdemo. We hereby formally invite you to grace the occasion. We also appeal to you to consider either scheduling the demo or having it in a good time to enable supporters of both clubs make their way to the stadium. It is true that the Green Army and the Blue Army are the main army in the Azimio. So they did not tell Raila to postpone or do what. The two things can happen at the same time. We will attend Jacaranda rally, and after the Jacaranda rally, we can go and watch football from 7 p.m. It has happened in Kenya before. 2014, we used to play the KPL games at Nyayo Stadium from 7 p.m. There is full floodlight there. So Nico Diambo, don't be worried. The two will have to occur. And if in any case the players are not going to Jacaranda, the game will continue in the stadium. There are many days people have been playing in that stadium without fans. And I can tell you, we will go to Jacaranda and they think of attending the match at maybe another day. So don't be worried. Wakanda, you can ask the question you wanted, then we allow Godfrey to wind up.
Mute. Hebu mute. Wakanda, mute your mic.
Mute or unmute? Unmute, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Godfrey, there is something that you say that I don't know. I've just lost it.
Wakanda, you are muted. You are muted, Wakanda. You have to unmute, yeah.
Okay. Wakanda said he lost it. So as you're looking for it, Godfrey, you can just wind up. Maybe if it is a river, he'll get it and get back to you later. So just wind up so that we don't take a lot of time.
Okay, what I was trying to say, we need a strategy because this guy is just brutal efficiency. Na ni mtu ambaye anaweza amua kuua na ataua. Okay, we have some few guys kina Gaucho wako kwa field. But we need also leaders. Raila anafaa awe na strong man. Hao watu hawa kama kina Mubimba. Mubimba should come out. Ude Mubimba mimi namuona tu kwa nini kwa nini? Kwa jukwaa. But he should come out aende pale chini kwa sababu enda anajua hao watu wanaishi vipi, ashapitia hiyo hali. He should go down aongee na kina Gaucho wa plan wawe na a strategy that tukienda okay.
Yeah, I think Godfrey, the only problem that one thing that I often struggle with whatever you are saying, you know, the master plan cannot be shared at social media on a social platform like this. That way you will fail, because once you share that plan, you are saying that Raila is not telling us the plan, then you are as dead as your plan. Because when let's say today maybe Gaucho or anyone, and they need to also be advised that once you have a plan, you don't come on a social platform like this and share the plan. The plan will not work because the other person will know how to counter your plan. So this idea of us pushing so hard that Raila is not sharing a plan or what, the ambiguity is what might is the best thing to do a revolution. Yeah, you have to be ambiguous. You must be unpredictable. History sharing a plan, oh, we want these details, or what next? You are going nowhere once the plan has been shared, my friend. That is I might be wrong, but for me, if someone was planning how to kill me or remove me into power and shares a plan on this platform, and I know, let's say Gaucho or the other guy is coming on this platform to share the plan, I will have time to plan how to counter them. So they need Gaucho and the rest of, if these are the people who are going to work with Baba, they have to be told how to hold on critical information. You can't share everything on a social platform unless you are sitting somewhere planning to execute. You only execute, but you don't share the plan. You only execute, but not sharing the plan. If they do that, then, my friend, we will be wasting time. Coming here to share plans, you will be wasting time.
Wakanda, what I meant, I interrogated this guy.
Let's have some order. So let's have some order. Geoffrey, do you want to back?
I wanted to say something.
That?
Yeah, I wanted to say something.
Yeah, I thought that was very clear, because you see, some of us are very, very connected in terms of all what is going on. Like now we've been having long conversations. You see, what we discuss here is mobilization, period. Just mobilization, explaining it to people why we are going for that cause. The rest of the details, you will never hear them. Even when Gaucho comes here, he will just tell you, tutaenda huko Jacaranda. How they will go, the route, nini, you will not know. Even you don't know what will be there immediately after Jacaranda. Okay? And they are so much used to these things. The planning and all that, the mass movement and all that. Even Baba will never tell you. If you listen to Baba very carefully, he tells you the rest. We will know as we move on. And that's the strategy. This one is heavy, Godfrey. Even if you call people, it is very few people who know what is happening. Because again, if you involve everybody, then it will not be a plan. All right? So you only need to have a critical mass that is planning, and it has to be very critical. And number two, people know Ruto can kill and will kill, but he kills his ICC is waiting for him. This is serious. And you don't know why Ruto is so quiet when these things are happening. It's because he's being watched. Ako katika meno ya nini? Ya mamba. Not that he's just that. In fact, Kenyans have the advantage to do whatever we want to do. The Constitution empowers us to do that. Power belongs to us. So mass movement, it's okay. Kumtimua kutoka kwa serikali, it's okay. We'll be claiming our sovereignty and our power as a people. We feel he is not fit. So sisi ndio tuko more advantaged than Ruto. He tries to throw one bullet, he's gone. Tutamkuamua tu akiwa amelala hapo. Tumtimua mbio ile mbaya mbovu. Leah, you may want to continue a little bit. There is a call I'm on. I just
all right. It's okay. Yeah. So maybe Godfrey, just also on the same note, there are some things that are not planned publicly. Like if we say tomorrow we are going to do this, follow this route, to do this, the enemy prepares. They get the right way to rebut and the right way to respond to your plans. That is why there are specific planning that can never be shared. The only thing is they'll tell you, you are going to know what is taking place. The number two, this guy that you're talking of, Mubimba, Makatwech, was just like the Gaucho that you're seeing. He's one man that nobody knew will become the MCA. He's the MCA of Korokocho Ward. If you don't know where Korokocho is one slum that you cannot go if you've never been in that place and walk freely. Even people will be able to know wewe ni mgeni na hautapita. Ask those people who've been in Korokocho. Na huko ndio kuna jeshi. Wale wakiamua wamefunga hiyo barabara watafunga na hakuna kitu mtafanya. So this is a guy who is really in touch with the ground, with the real hustlers, and he knows what he says. And maybe to confirm that one to you, let me play for you a video here. So this video will confirm your doubts and maybe bring you back and realize that everything is well planned.
Watu wetu mikono tuwatoe chini kwa siasa ya taifa. Baba, kuna njia nyingine. Tunataka tutoke, tuende Ikulu, tutoe huyo mwizi Ikulu. Na mimi nataka niseme namna hii, lazima tuingie town, tufunge na biashara. Hakuna biashara itaendelea hii capital city of Nairobi. Ndio William Ruto heshimu Raila Amolo Odinga. Lazima tufunge biashara hii Nairobi. Baba, tulisikia ule mjinga anaitwa Gachagua anasema ati awachiwe Raila atadili na yeye. Mimi Gachagua nilishamlima nikamweka chini ya kitanda. Ule mtu wa githeri na mchele hawezi tishia baba. Sawa sawa. Baba, wali warawei serikali ya Ruto waliingia kwa store wakaiba mpaka condom. Wakaimba mpaka condom. Alafu wanasema ati serikali waliwachiwa bila kitu. Kama wanaiba condom, watasaidia wananchi namna gani? Kwa hivyo naambia Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, tunataka tutoke nje, tuokoe taifa, tupeleke Kenya mbele, mambo iinuke. Asante na Mungu awabariki. Tulo.
So that is the Matuech Mobimba. His name, the one he was using in the estate is Tulo. So when I was in high school, I happened to be attending some games at there is a stadium in Korokocho. It's a Catholic church called St. John. So he's one guy who is good in organizing and mobilizing. And from that speech, I can tell you half of the Jubilee MPs have responded to him. And if you go to your social media, you'll find most of them responded to him. So it really, they really know what will happen. And they really know the impact of the person speaking. That is why when you see they arresting Gaucho, it tells you, they know who is now mobilizing. This thing is not being done by the MPs who've been elected. It is done by the common mwananchi ambaye amechoka, anaona gharama ya maisha imepanda. Na gharama ya maisha imepanda na bado itazidi kupanda. Manake kila mtu akiongea kila kukicha mnaambiwa maisha itazidi kupanda. At the same time, huyo Ruto wenyu anaenda Dakar to go and lecture some Africans. He's lecturing some Africans on food security. Yet in Kenya, people are going hungry. Bado ako na ile courage ya kwenda kukalisha African president anawa lecture anawaambia how to deal with food security. Na Kenya huko ameacha watu wanakufa njaa. Yeye bado na is interior minister, this man huyu wa soprano anaitwa aje sijui Kindiki, wanaenda kupeana threats huko. Jana, the other day, 3 people were killed. I'm told the government even armed some other communities, so the wars there may increase. Bado anaendanga tu kupeana threat akiriniwa, anapeana threat akiriniwa, wakitoka Wakenya wanauliwa. And somebody wants to tell you tumpatie serikali nafasi ya nini? This guy doesn't need even a week. These guys should be removed as fast as possible. And from that Jacaranda meeting, I can tell you this thing is possible. It needs some mindset. Somebody who thinks of Kenya, and Kenya is already tired with the state of economy. Things are going up, nothing is coming down. So if that is the bottom up, you are told, then I don't think it is the right thing. Do they want to raise the price of everything so that they start afresh? It's not going to happen. So I'll still encourage those people who are still doubting. Jacaranda is a real deal. You know, in these public forums is where pronunciations are made. And these announcements that are made in the public forums normally have got some greater impact, because when you go home, you'll now have to implement them. It might not happen suddenly or on a single day, but as long as we are doing something, it gives us hope that there is possibility that finally we are going to achieve our main objective. And you and I know our main objective is to ensure that we don't allow the UDA and Kenya Kwanza to continue dealing with Kenyans as if they're dealing with their personal property. Yesterday, I had a minister, and I don't know who speaks for Ruto nowadays because everybody purports to be speaking for the government, and I'm aware they have more than 10 communicators. I had this shareholder of Kenya Power, Ndindi Nyoro. This guy is the greatest shareholder in Kenya Power, and they keep on increasing the cost of tokens and the cost of electricity, and somebody still comes in this forum to tell you that it is stima ijapanda. I heard him saying that they are going to privatize the government parastatals. My friend, the only thing that they need to tell us, if these parastatals are not making profit, then they need to do something to ensure that the parastatals make profit. When the Kenya Meat Commission was not making profit, what did Uhuru do? He realized that there were cartels there. Ruto's son among the cartels in the Kenya Meat Commission. What did he do? It only took Uhuru 1 month to hand over that parastatal called Kenya Meat Commission to the army. Then within a month, everything changed, and the Kenya Meat Commission is up, standing and operating, and it's selling meat and making profits. So why can they do that? The only thing is they remove the cartels. They do tell us they know the cartels. These parastatals can make profit, but they're not making profit because of the cartels who are there. If you go to Kenya Power, who are the cartels there? Forget about even the shareholders like Ndindi Nyoro. The cartels are Ruto's people. When Keter was the minister there, he really ensured that he even brought even the sweepers. The same people, the same cartels. So the Kenya Cereals Board, the Cereals Board ilianguka wakati Ruto alikuwa minister wa agriculture. Mbona ilianguka? You are told waligula aje, even the sweeper walitoa kwao wakaweka hapo, and these guys were totally destroying these parastatals. So the enemy of parastatals in Kenya we know is William Ruto. Anything parastatal he touched imeanguka chini. When Ruto was the Minister of Agriculture, that is when the sugar industry ya Kenya ilianguka. This giant Mumias Sugar ilianguka wakati Ruto alikuwa Minister of Agriculture. If you go to places like Sony Sugar, the Muhoroni, and all these sugar companies that you see, wakati gani, before Ruto became the Minister of Agriculture, these companies were making profits, and you will go to any supermarket and pick of any sugar that is made in Kenya. During that time, you will buy Mumias, you will buy Cabras, you will buy Sony. What happened when Ruto became the minister? That's the time we started seeing sugar being imported from Brazil and packed as Mumias sugar. What did he do as a Minister of Agriculture? Our education system, the higher education system, started failing when Ruto was the Minister of Higher Education. That is when our universities started registering and producing some fake graduates. People like Sakaja will just walk in, register and wait for some few years to get awarded for degrees they did not even qualify for. The degrees they did not even attend classes. Why is it easy for you currently to walk into University of Nairobi, pay money, go rest in your comfy offices, then wait for graduation when you don't even attend a single class? Who made it possible? And now they are telling us they want to privatize our universities. Will we be able to pay? If you're not able to pay school fees in a private primary school, how will you pay school fees in a private university? We need to ask ourselves these questions. The government, at the same time, they're telling us the government is not in the business of doing business. At the same time, the government is not in the business of making profit out of hard-working Kenyans' money. If the government has to make profit, then this profit should be shared equally. We know very well in every business that we have in the country, the government takes 30% as taxes. So is that one not business? Are they not enjoying the proceeds? They are not enabling the business. So we need to stop this government before our country loses its value. IMF the other day told you that Ethiopia and Angola is overtaking us in terms of the GDP. How? This is a country that has been moving on well. Even during COVID, we did not. I don't think we did not lower ourselves like this. We were able to come up with measures to mitigate the COVID, and Kenya stood strong and stable. So right now, we are only 4 months into this Kenya Kwanza government. The value of the dollar has dropped. Right now, if you have $1, it is Kenyan shillings 128. I've just checked in the morning. Just imagine. So it means our traders will have to spend more money in order to get dollars. If they used to import something at $100, and maybe at $100 they were using 10,000 Kenyan shillings, today they'll have to use 13,000 Kenyan shillings to get an item that is valued at $100. So what does that one tell you? We need to do something. We need to do something. I think I'll welcome Guru to say. I saw Zalendo. I don't know if he's still around. Let's see him. Guru, you can welcome. You can proceed and speak. As I'm preparing Mato, I'm preparing that video. Guru, karibu.
Habari yenu? Habari?
Mzuri sana, tunakusikiza. Ni venye watu wako disciplined huku. Umejua wanaambiwa when somebody is speaking, they mute themselves. So I think
Salama.
Kwani amepotea?
Mzuri Guru.
Stone PK.
Sawa.
Wapi Stone PK? Kwani amepotea? Now, I can see defenseless. A citizen defenseless. I beg to differ. I think you have noticed that most of the MPs have kept off this debate. The elected members of parliament are keeping away from the push and pull between Raila and Ruto. The question you ask yourself, why? Let me tell you, there's a person in the last meeting who said those who are not here will soon be following the caravan. You know, politicians sometimes, not sometimes, actually behave like poachers. They wait for the animal to be felled. Some even wait for the rotting process to start so that they can now come in. What do I mean? There are politicians mostly wouldn't want to get into a rhythm that will fail them. Some of these are young politicians, and they know that once a certain momentum takes, place, if you are not in that rhythm, you end your political career. So today, they are in government. But at the same time, out there is something building up. Whose direction at this level is very difficult to tell. If you can revisit what happened between 2003 to 2007, it will tell you how the mobilization mainstream affects the next general elections. You are aware that some of them are still very insecure, because actually some of them, as you had the tinkering with the voting, most of them, at least a sizable number, did not get their positions because they deserved. And Jose Camargo assisted them to get where they are. Kwa hivyo, the troops will start being known once the momentum picks pace. That's when you know who is on which side, especially for the elected leaders. Because right now, if you go to the ground and you find everybody has shifted on one side, those are politicians for you. They will start trooping on either side. So hii maneno saa hii iko kwa mikono ya wananchi. Wananchi ndio mwishowe watasema hawa watu wataelekea upande gani. It's a very serious situation because we don't have principled politicians. Most of them are just like those poachers. If you ask what they stand for, they will not tell you. That's why today those who are actually holding the levers of power were the ones who vehemently opposed the current constitution. But you see, today they are enjoying the trappings of the same constitution that they opposed so aggressively. So that is the paradox of the Kenyan nation. Sometimes unapikia watu chakula, unafikiria sasa ndio wakati wa kula hiyo chakula, lakini mtu mwingine anakuja anachukua kwanza kwa nguvu. So there is one analyst who has said that this thing could take a life of its own. It starts in small installments. Those who are right now not sure where things are moving, they are just quiet. But because they are politicians, once they know the ground has become hot, they will start trying to squeeze out those who have been braving themselves in the trenches as this momentum picks pace. The most interesting thing is that this time things seem grounded on reality. I don't know whether you have noticed that nobody has come up with a counter to the figures that were given of what happened, the 8.1 versus 5.9. There is nobody who has come to say those figures are exaggerated. There is nobody who has disputed those figures in any way, except the one who came close to saying that the servers were opened wrong time ago. But then again, I don't know whether he knows the difference between a server and a portal, because he seems to have been talking about the portal. And that portal is what was fed with fake figures. So therefore, Baba has a right to ask for the servers to be opened. The other thing that is most interesting, I don't know whether you heard when Raila met with the leaders in Nairobi. He told foreign powers to keep off Kenyan affairs. That was a very strong statement. I just came across information that I don't know whether it's true, that there was a plan to find a way to go and protest on the gates of American embassy. I don't know whether they are the main movers of what is happening, and they have since revised their view on the Kenyan elections of August, that it cannot now be known who exactly won these elections. That's a very heavy statement. And I would not want to preempt what that means, but I can only assume that perhaps they are thinking of a situation like that which happened in 2018 and 2008, of handshake and sharing of government and so on and so forth. But I think they are mistaken, because Kenyans have since moved on, and I think no Kenyan, especially a supporter of Raila Amolo Odinga, would want to hear of handshake with the government of William Ruto. Therefore, I think they have underestimated the progress in Kenya in terms of political, formations and
Guru,
political.
your phone is really ringing there.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Somebody was trying to enter in with the phone. So what I'm saying is that they may be wanting to micromanage the situation that we have, but this time they are in for a rude shock, because in fact the most radical supporters are those that are supporting Raila. They would not want anything to do with the handshake. Sasa hapo sijui watafanya namna gani. You can imagine the government perhaps would want a handshake, because after all they are already holding the levers of power. But the person they are going for handshake to is supporters. Himself, I don't know. I'm not in his heart. I don't know whether you'd want personally or not, but his supporters would not want that to happen. So we are staring at what some time back Stone PK called the uncharted waters. The matters in Kenya today look to be beyond the Supreme Court, because even the Supreme Court itself is subject of what is being discussed. The IBC is a subject of being discussed. So when you reach a point whereby even the Supreme Court itself is a subject of public debate on its conduct, then we have a problem there, because the only fallback position is that of the sovereignty of the Kenyan people. Asante.
Asante sana, Guru. And to those people who still doubt this journey, let me remind them, if Ruto himself and his government have already panicked and they are right now thinking of ways to manage Baba, something that we are against, are you aware that they are planning to introduce a bill that will allow Raila to get back to parliament? And I remember this man called Justin Muturi, I think is the Attorney General, saying that it is possible. We do not need a referendum. We can think a bit with Article 108 to have the person who comes second in the presidential poll to become the minority leader in the National Assembly, and the running mate to become the minority leader in the Senate. And they are planning that they want to introduce a bill, and in that bill they pass it so that Raila joins the National Assembly and becomes the minority leader, claiming that that office is really financed by the Parliamentary Service Commission. Then Kalonzo, who was the running mate, to join the Senate and become the minority leader there. How on earth can somebody who won elections become a minority? So that is what they're planning. It tells you these guys have really panicked, and we will not allow them to do that. Son PK, you can say so.
Yeah, thank you, Leo. Let me say quickly, to rejoice on what Bwana Guru amesema, and we've done quite good also to make it very clear. You see, Guru amesema we are on uncharted waters. Truly speaking, not only are we on uncharted waters, but now we are even beyond the Constitution. And this is what people should know. For us in Azimio now, we don't really care about the Constitution, because I keep on saying, two wrongs don't make a right. But then if wrongs continue happening, how do you correct them? So let them take it to the bank. Right now where we are, we don't care about the Constitution. We just care about getting the power back, which is what we are going to do. And Ruto can prepare to do whatever he wants to do. It's not about the Constitution anymore. Hii kitu imekuwa mbaya. Ruto amengoja ikafika rapture stage. And that is where we are. He can arrest Gaucho, he can do whatever he wants, but we don't want to reveal what is really happening. The boiler is boiling. Sasa it's not constitution ni mavia kuku sasa. We don't care about it because nobody respects it. So no one should use it kama vile watu wanatumia Biblia kuwagandamiza watu. Ruto can keep the constitution. He can do whatever he wants to do with the constitution, but he has screwed it up. So it is now watoto nyara, free for all. Mwenye nguvu mpishe. Sasa tupimane nguvu basi. Asante leo.
Thank you. Yes.
I